time.
Go for it.
Call this meeting, the Harlan Township Board of Trustees, to order. As a reminder, the meeting is being audio and video recorded, and please don't forget to sign in. Would you please stand and join me for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jenny, would you please read the minutes from the previous meeting?
Board of Trustees of Harlan Township met in regular session this 20th day of March 2024 at regular meeting place of 8276 State Route 132. Trustees Edward Purginski, Kevin Kern, and Marcus Shelton present. Meeting called to order by Mr. Shelton at 7 p.m. Mr. Shelton asked all present to stand and say Pledge of Allegiance. Minutes from regular session March 6, 2024. Mr. Kern made a motion to accept minutes, second by Mr. Purginski. Mr. Mason reported received Western Star dump truck. Trustees need to decide if want to extend it warranty. Mr. Mason reported road department replacing 3 driveway culverts on Fisher Road, cattle guard removed and replaced with assistance of Warren County engineers, and restrooms at Whitaker Park will be open March 22nd, 2024. Mr. Mason discussed receiving 3 applications for road department seasonal position. Will set up interviews within the next couple weeks. Mr. Mason reported that J Junior Landscaping will do the landscaping cleanup at Station 81. Mr. Mason reported the next levy committee will be on March 26, 2024. Mr. Mason and Chief Bennett will be meeting with Frank Williams on March 21st, 2024 to discuss proposed budget. Chief Bennett reported to have 3 new volunteer applications that will be reviewed at a later time. Chief Bennett working with Medicare, or Medi-Count, updating fire information and EMS billing application. Chief Bennett updated fire department roster and documentation, sent information to Ohio State Fire Marshal and National Volunteer Fire Council. Chief Bennett working with the Warren County Telecom, updating paging system and active 911 to submit eligible members roster. Chief Bennett received revised version of Station 81 plan from Harvest Design. This will be reviewed by the fire department officers and membership prior to moving forward. Chief Bennett reported plans continued for fish fry on March 29, 2024 from 4 to 7:30 at Station 81. Old business, Mr. Purginski reported still working on fence repair estimates for cemeteries. Mr. Purginski discussed the 911 plan approval. Resolution 032024-1. Mr. Shelton moved to adopt resolution for countywide 911 program review committee updated final plan for implementing and operating a countywide 911 system, seconded by Mr. Kern. Roll call, Mr. Purginski, yes. Mr. Kern, yes. Mr. Shelton, yes. Mr. Kern discussed additional road work needed for Fisher Road. After discussion, Mr. Shelton made a motion to add additional road to work needed for 2024 road bid, seconded by Mr. Kern. Mr. Shelton discussed the undeveloped area at Edwardsville Cemetery. Need to create a plan for drainage at lower area prior to design for additional plots. Kerr Family Cemetery has stated will allow township to install pipe from cemetery and use their catch basin on their property. Work needs to be started in the near future on this project. Mr. Shelton would like to use $30,000 from the ARP fund towards the project. Mr. Shelton discussed the Jeep meet that will be held in July will be fundraiser for the 9 Lincoln Auxiliary. Mr. Shelton reported the flags replaced at the cemeteries. New business, Mr. Shelton spoke with Bruce McGarry from Warren County Prosecutor's Office regarding distribution of money from Low Fund. After discussion, Mr. Shelton made a motion to proceed with assistance from Warren County Prosecutor's Office, seconded by Mr. Kern. Mr. Shelton discussed the Coomber property on Lindley Worley Road. Family is asking for variance to build an additional home on property. After discussion, trustees do not have issue with family proceeding. Mr. Shelton discussed Kevin Stouter mowing at Whitaker Park, received requests from Mr. Stouter to increase amount to $150 per mowing. Trustees agreed to increase. Mr. Shelton discussed maintenance on Fisher Road that will be split between Washington Township in the past. After this discussion, we'll work with Warren County Engineer's Office to create a maintenance agreement to specify responsibilities for both townships. Mr. Shelton discussed the tractor show that will be held at Butlerville. Will possibly have an ice cream social at the same time as tractor show. Mrs. Williams' new term starts April 1st, 2024. Mr. Shelton swore in Ms. Williams for her new term. Ms. Williams discussed the 2024 appropriations, Resolution 032024-2. Mr. Shelton moved to adopt resolution to provide for current expenses and other expenditures for the township during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, sums on file to set aside and appropriate it for several purposes for which expenditures are to be made for and during fiscal years, seconded by Mr. Brzezinski. Roll call, Mr. Brzezinski, yes. Mr. Kern, yes. Mr. Shelton, yes. Community comments, sorry, a lot to read. Bridget Ballard asked if Bright Acres could borrow the bunny suit on March 28, 2024. Trustees will verify if township owns suit. If so, have no issues with Bright Acres using suit. Karen Warwick could ask about the street light installed at Marwoodville and State Route 132. Ms. Williams will contact Duke Energy about replacing existing lights at Butlerville. Mr. Shelton made a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 212.22G1 to consider the employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee, seconded by Mr. Kern. Roll call, Mr. Yes, Mr. Kern, yes. Mr. Shelton adjourned executive session, no action at this time. Ms. Williams gave written financial reports to trustees. Mr. Kern made a motion to pay bills, seconded by Mr. Brzezinski. We had no correspondence. Mr. Mason will look into if 9 Lincoln Auxiliary covered under the township insurance. Mr. Kern made a motion to adjourn, seconded by Mr. Brzezinski. Meeting adjourned at 9:29.
Do either of you have any corrections or additions to the minutes as read?
Yeah, trust me.
Have one on the additional money for the Fisher Road.
Yes.
Did we did say an amount of 5520, didn't we?
Yeah, I did.
We did, but after I thought about that, I should have put it in here, but we haven't technically approved any amount, period, because we haven't gotten a bid. We're just saying that we want that to be additional to that bid that we're getting from them.
Okay.
So I don't want to commit to a price
And then.
and then the bid's not even here yet. That is why it was like that. If you want me to add it, I will, but I don't think that's the correct thing to do.
Do I have a motion to?
Did I wear you out reading it? I know, I think so. You feel a lot higher.
Does he have something?
Mercy.
Or do I have a motion to approve the minutes as read?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as read.
Second.
Okay, so don't forget, since I didn't print the second page that Kevin supplied to me, I need you to sign there. Actually, so we don't rip pages, I'm gonna take them out because they're not looking very nice on me. So it's that one and that one. They're ripping for some reason. I don't think I have enough paper in here.
All right, Steve, are you ready for your report?
Or if you just want to pass them back,
I'll put them on that. I'll bring them down later.
I've actually got Dusty's report first, if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Because information, that Medi-Count application was completed and submitting is now waiting approval from Medi-Count. That's just how we get our EMS billing. The closeout for the FEMA grant, AFG grant that we received in 2020 has been completed. So that grant has been completely squared away. He contacted Jeff Watterson, who's an architect, worked with Harvest Design, and getting engineer stamp on that. So Harvest Design, Laura Mueller is going to work with them directly and itemize all of the things like faucets and toilets and all those things, just to make sure we get a bid on the things that she recommends that we use. If we don't do that, then the bidder can just bid the cheapest thing they can find. And so all that's gonna be spelled out. She has all the data, which is great. She has all the part numbers for all these things already done. So she's gonna work with them directly to make sure we get what she has designed for that area. The fish fry, those of you who were there, was quite a few people again, 1,250 dinners in a 3.5 hour span. So that's, we had about 1,200 last year, so that's numbers definitely are going down with that. And we're gonna have a net from that of about $7,000 for that night. You have a quote attached for fire gear. It's from Fire Safety Services for 9 total sets of fire gear. 12,000 of that will be paid by the R&R grant from FEMA. The remaining balance by the fire department with a total cost of $39,301. The breakdown you have is for all the different pieces and what they cost. So we're looking for a motion to approve the purchase of the 9 sets of fire gear for the total cost of $39,301.
That includes the 12,000 from the retention grant.
Yes, that'll be subtracted off. So we have to obviously pay for everything up front.
Right.
The way that grant works, we submit after we buy it, we submit the request for a reimbursement after we have the receipt that we actually purchased it.
This is 9 sets.
It is 9 sets of fire gear, yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve the 9 sets of fire gear at $39,301.
Second.
With 12,000 to be repaid by the retention grant.
All right, that's all you had. Any questions on the gear, anything?
I've heard nothing but everything about gear for 5 months.
Gotcha.
I'm good.
All right, moving on to the township side. The Western Star truck has been lettered. Jeff and I took it over to Tri-State Public Safety to have both the county radio and the CB mounted in it. So that's all been done and it should be ready. I think everything's done with it. Now it's ready to hit the road, and I turned in the warranty paperwork and all that stuff. Our tax exempt things went into them this past week as well. I sent you guys a copy of the warranty information. You want to have a discussion on doing those extended warranties, or?
Did you get that number?
Yes,
phone number
I got a hold of Mike Bailey, and it is whichever comes first. If you look at the 5-year 100,000, which is $2,740, or 7 years 100,000 is $4,060. But it's, so we're probably going to get to the years way before we get to the miles. Is it worth doing?
$5 years.
What's been the history?
5 years.
What do we, our warranties been utilized?
Is it bumper to bumper or is it powertrain?
It's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, there's warranty on the truck itself and then a warranty to Cummins just for the engine. So there's 2 separate
Yeah.
warranties involved with that.
Because the Cummins has its own deal, of course.
Well, these newer vehicles, all these sensors and the depth and all that stuff, I mean, everything it has, there's always something going wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're definitely gonna have lower mileage. There's obviously no way we're gonna hit that mileage. So you're just looking at years. Any guess, Jeff, how many miles a year?
Yeah, I have no idea. A couple miles.
The truck's gonna age out of warranty because it's taking us so long to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna probably I'd say 5,000 miles a year.
I think
Well,
The-
I guess we
the
all-
one we're gonna get rid of, the International, has like 70,000 on it,
What year is that?
and it's 07.
Yeah, that's U07, it's a newer one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one they quoted, this is what they call the TC4 Premium. And there's quite a bit of fluff in it, like front suspension, airbags, stuff that I can't ever really imagine happening. But you start talking about new stuff with depth and sensors, you know.
I'm more concerned with the depth than anything,
Mm-hmm.
because I know what I went through with my semi when I ran it.
What was the, what was it, 2,000 or something for the 5 years or whatever?
2740 for the 5-year 100,000. It's 4060 for the 7-year 100,000. So you're looking at what, $1,300 difference for the two extra years.
I was gonna do that probably almost do the, yeah, this 7.
That's, I mean, actually be 1280. I'm sorry.
Truck with that value and that complicated. I think more than get that.
And, yeah, was that the truck and the engine together, or just the truck?
Well, see, that's the thing. They start talking about, when you look at this tier 4 premium, they start throwing in, because the Cummins is a separate deal, but they do start saying stuff about like the starter. I guess that's not covered by Cummins because it's not really part of the.
It just starts.
It's
Where
wear
it
and tear.
works in Cummins.
Probably more wear and tear
Takes it
than
to a room,
anything.
But then here's the one.
Tear.
I forget what the Cummins one said when I read it. Let's see, 3-year unlimited mileage on the motor.
And does that, and again, I did not have a chance
Because
to review it.
I looked through it and read it and all that stuff.
Does that include the emission system, or which one's that covered? I assume that would be cover the emission system.
It says 100% on warrantable features, but we've already got this on the motor. That's part of the deal, right?
The
The
base,
Cummins thing.
yeah, the base warranties. So
Because it'll be whatever goes wrong with it, it's what will be covered. Murphy's Law. Internal components, major engine systems, turbo water pump, fuel injectors. Basically. So I would be more worried about sensors and
Well, you guys recommend?
I think extended warranties are usually a ripoff, but at the same time.
typically, yeah, so that's, I mean,
You have to have one more thing, I wish we had it.
Yeah, when you get a bill for $8,000-9,000, you could have had that
Look what
extended
happened.
warranty for 2 more years.
Look what happened with the last Cummins. Didn't have any miles on it at all, and we ended up spending a bundle. on it.
7,000. Was that that much, was it?
Like 30,000, wasn't it?
Oh, I think 82.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
And it was. Yeah.
How many miles, Jeff?
9,000.
Yeah, it should be $7,000 to $10,000.
We got to count that kind of money into.
We're not gonna put miles on it, but
No.
we are gonna have for length of time.
I said we go for the years.
Unfortunately, it's just a bad mix there, because we're not gonna use it as much as what we would get the use out of it. So warranty is gonna be in our favor for just a safeguard.
If something's not covered, we can come back on cover.
So what was that price, Kev? Was that just the truck warranty, or was that both the Cummins warranty and the truck warranty?
The Cummins is a separate
Separate deal.
thing. This is the through the FIDA, or not through FIDA, through, well, it says Freightliner and Western Star, Detroit Assurance Extended Service Coverage. And like I said, 4060 gets you the 7 years.
And that's on top of that.
This would be, yes, on top of the motor, which has its, what I say, 3 years unlimited. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't see where you'd ever have problems with springs, airbags, and some of it, but hey.
Doesn't have airbags, that's an easy one to draw
Okay,
something.
well, there we go.
Is,
14% they
the
cover.
pricing is I'm just, I did not have a chance to review it, unfortunately, does the freight or the Western Star extended warranty, is that gonna cover any part of the emission system, or relying on the Cummins warranty? I'm assuming we're looking at the Cummins warranty to cover the emission stuff, so. Do we need some clarification on that, so we know what we're,
Yeah.
does that work? 'Cause I mean, I know we have a little more time before we say yes or no on it.
Yeah, we have till April 30th, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so we'll one more meeting this month, so why don't you go with Bailey and then see if we maybe do a conference call or something, Kevin, and
Yeah.
figure that, just so we know exactly what we're getting covered for what money.
Isn't that like they call it an incomplete system? In other words, they build a truck, the factory builds a truck, and then it's incomplete. It doesn't have all the accessories on it. Then we add all those accessories. So they warrant it different from what I've seen. If you were to buy that truck as a complete component, the warranty is all
Everything's covered
intact,
from,
and
yeah.
it's a better deal. When they build it incomplete, they walk away from everything. It's like, you're gonna modify this, so we're not gonna warrant it very much.
All right, yeah, I'll go with Mike and get some clarification on some of that stuff.
And also, he said he just want to come down and go over the truck with you in the
Yeah.
near future.
This is coming Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday at 8.
You might know.
Wednesday at
something.
8. I guess I do.
He just said he'd be down. He
Wednesday at eight,
doesn't give me a date, but
Yeah, I think it's Wednesday at 8. With that, with this truck being up and running, the white international truck, we want to go ahead and put that on Gov Deals as soon as it's ready. And how much do you want to set for? And so with these, we don't set a minimum price online. We do a seller approval at the end. So that way there's no reserve set on the item. It's just, it sells whatever it sells for, and then it comes back to you guys and say, okay, this is the price it got. Do you want to accept it or not? You can turn it down if it's not enough money. Our rep from GovDeal says that's the better way to do it. That way people don't see a reserve on there. As they keep bidding, they'll just keep saying reserve not met, reserve not met. But if you do a seller approves, then that way, you know, she said it has better outcomes typically if you do it that way.
I say get it on Gov Deals as soon as it's ready to go.
Do we have a dollar amount?
Well, we'll have some time to research what it's worth.
Yeah, you can kind of make it on the possible,
Yeah.
if we're ready to go and put it on there and you guys are okay with getting the list. Normally they do 7 or 10 days. They don't recommend it to anything more than 10 days because people lose interest.
How long would it take for it to be ready to be put on?
It's close. We gotta get this lettering off, the radios out. So
I think it's pretty close. That's about the only thing I think we gotta do. A few things we got to do.
minor, yeah, it's pretty close.
Or we put it on 7 or 10 days?
Whichever one you pick, it doesn't, I mean, I don't know if it makes a big difference between 7 and 10. Normally when those things hit, people are kind of, you know, looking for something, and then I think 7 or 10, either one would be, makes a big difference. And we can put it on for 7 and see what the number is and see if you like the number. If you don't like the number, then we turn down the sale and turn around and list it again for a longer period or whatever, so.
Yeah, I think we can do this. He's only got a few things left. Probably do the 7 days and then at the next meeting.
Yeah, I could try to time it to where it starts. Because I think we have 24 or 48 hours to approve the sale at the time. So the buyer's locked in for either, I can't remember, which 24 or 48. And then after that, if we don't approve it, then they can get out of it.
I have no problem doing that. Putting on. And then if you guys don't, for some reason it doesn't work out to where you have it ready and it's not gonna fall within that 24 hours or 48-hour period, then we'll just wait until the next meeting and talk about it again.
Okay, all right.
You guys good with that? Put it on Gov Deals?
So I'll work on that.
Oh, good, you're going to take the lettering off.
What's that?
Oh, good, you're going to take the lettering off.
I said I worked on it. I worked on it, I mean, I'd have you work on it.
Have you got a steamer?
Oh, I got a wheel.
Yeah, we got wheel takes it right off.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It just
steamer works.
it still takes time.
He takes it.
I'll take it off.
The boom truck is in the process of being repaired. It is temporarily, it's kind of patched together. So Larry had new lines made for it, so it can work just off the rear of the truck essentially. There's a chance that actuator can be rebuilt, so Larry's checking into getting it rebuilt. So the purchase we had approved last week for $5,000 and change, whatever it was, there's a chance that could be rebuilt and would be much cheaper than that. So Larry's looking into that currently.
Is it worth rebuild? I mean,
We're gonna see what he's got to figure out if it can be rebuilt, and then how much it costs. So he's working on those things.
I thought it froze up and twisted.
Well, it can be torn apart though and rebuilt like a hydraulic cylinder or something like that. So,
Okay.
so they're seeing, I think Ohio Hydraulics is where he went. Is that right?
No, down here in Goshen, it's no Ohio.
Okay. Anyway, he's checking on that, but it is at least operational to a point. With the applications for the road crew, we received 4 applications eventually. We did change the name, essentially naming of it from, it was listed as a seasonal position. to a part-time. That came from discussion with Catherine Horvath at the prosecutor's office. And she said typically when you list a seasonal position, they're doing a seasonal job like plowing snow, mowing grass, things that only happen during that season. I see advertisements for other townships that advertise seasonal and they do everything as well. Her suggestion was to call it part-time as opposed to seasonal because they're kind of be doing a number of jobs that happen all year round, more or less. So with that, we had put a preference on those for CDL. So 2 of the 4 applicants had CDL. So we did just interview the 2 that had CDL since we weren't sure we could get any applications. So we kind of left it open-ended so that if they didn't have CDL, it wouldn't preclude them. But we interviewed the 2 this morning that had CDL. Both of them were interested in a part-time, 24 hours a week, 3 8-hour days. They wanted a flexible schedule. The range we put on it was 16 to 18. So if they didn't have CDL and didn't have experience, they'd be on the 16 side. If they had experience, Class A CDL, they'd be at 18. Both the applicants that we had experience in excavators, backhoes. They both have Class A CDL experience driving a truck. So with that, we had some discussion. Mark was there for the first interview. Kevin was there for the second interview. And I would like to entertain the idea of hiring both of them on a part-time basis at 24 hours a week. When we had this initial discussion, it was to hire a seasonal that was going to work 40 hours a week. So with the 2 of them, we're going to get, it costs us 8 more hours a week than what we had initially talked about. And then we have an extra person every day. We would stagger them to where you had the third. So one day you'd have 4, the other days then you'd have 3, depending on how their schedules lined up. If they were interested in flexing those schedules around. So just questions or debate on doing that.
I like the idea of having, we'd be doubling our workforce. Right, Jeff?
I guess.
So I have a
I don't
question.
know, so I guess.
Is it when-
Equalize you will, but
We need to do something different. We need to make another motion.
Well, no, it went from seasonal, now we're doing part-time, so now there's no cutoff. 'Cause I worry about running out of money.
Right, yeah, so it is open-ended, and I would, and we talked in the discussion day with them that initially was seasonal. This made it so we're, temporary, part-time. It's not right now, there are not permanent positions that go throughout. So the 2 positions with OPERS, because they would both pay into OPERS, is still less than our third full-time employee was because of insurance. So we should,
No, put it out there,
understand,
because
absolutely.
if you, I could just see it all of a sudden, a year later, we still have 2 part-time and 2 full-time, and I don't wanna run out of money.
so should we put parameters to it?
I wouldn't leave it open-ended because you don't know if we do hire both of them, one of them might leave right off the bat, And then
Change them.
one of them might work into a full-time position. So I would recommend hiring both of them to start. And it's part-time position, so we can tell them at any time, hey, in 2 weeks, we're gonna be, done with your whatever.
As long as they're okay with that in the beginning.
Well, they understand it's part, yeah.
Yeah, we had the conversation today with them that, listen, it's kind of, we don't have a plan to keep this on all the time right now. It was, so, and both of the people that had applied, they wanted something that was part-time. They didn't want a full-time job. They've got some side jobs that they do. So both of them in the discussion today, now that could always change, right, in the future, but we're okay with the part-time status at 24 hours a week. And that keeps us under the 1,500 hours a year rule for Affordable Care Act.
That could get 2 Class A CDL holders at $18 an hour. That's a bargain.
Question on that, since they are part-time, I don't know the legalities to it. And we let them go, would they be up for unemployment or not, even though they were part-time? Is it because you ain't meet the hours? I'm just throwing it out, making sure.
They gotta stay under the 1,500 hours.
Yeah, as long as under 1,500 hours, they're not gonna qualify for
I was just
unemployment.
trying
It is a
to
part-time.
make sure.
Don't fight us, Jeff, we're trying to get you some help.
Well, I know, but I'm looking at the money too.
No, I appreciate it. Well, you guys have any other thoughts on the matter? One employee, two employees? We do one, which one?
I think it was a great idea. I didn't really know that that was the direction we were taking.
Well, the seasonal, it was, we thought it was gonna be 40 hours a week, and then we couldn't hire two 40-hour, seasonal people, but with the suggestion that, Captain Horvath had of, we probably want to call it seasonal because of what we're asking them to do. In talking to Larry, he was involved in interviews today as well. He was a proponent of having the two if we could do it. And we've had culvert projects on Wayne's Way now. We've had 20-some culverts put in. And that project started 3 years ago, and they put in one in the last 3 years on Wayne's Way, just because, we have, just being down to two full-time, there was a lot of times where, one's gone, one's on vacation. You had situations past week where we had the funeral at Wesley Chapel, and Larry was out of town for the week, so I was able to work my schedule around to go help Jeff dig that and take care of it and close. And that happens a lot, throughout the day. Jeff's here, he's covering fire too, so he's having to leave on some projects, so they get a road cut open and a culvert started, and there's a fire run or EMS run, and he's gone, and then Larry's there by himself. And how much do you do? Gotta have some safety things there with,
And Larry can make it work to where all four of them were there, if that's for the big jobs,
yeah.
and use the time management.
I think our goal was to split them out.
Yeah, initially to have one with Larry, one with Jeff. There's two projects going on to get them, acclimated to what we're doing, know the equipment, know the area.
I think that's why.
And then just see, they both, well, the one gentleman, so I guess we need to put names here, right, Jenny, if we're gonna start.
Once the motion's made, we'll.
Just we get with you after this, or we need to have that in the open meeting as far as names that were.
Once we say we're hiring two people, and
Okay.
the two
Gotcha.
people, we have to put their name in here on
Okay.
who we're hiring.
Okay. And so we have, the one has experience at the city mason. He's done drainage, ditching, culverts. The other one had a background in road maintenance as far as paving. But he'd also run excavator, track loader, those types of things.
You're a well-rounded group. I think it's great, but
We got a third
I'm
guy
not there for Jeff, so.
couple different times, right?
What's
We've
that?
had three before, several.
Well, yeah, I mean,
different times.
since,
Yeah, we were paying insurance and all that.
yeah, there was, we had, so starting in 19, we had 3 full-time, and then we had a seasonal person mowing at that time. So yeah, we've carried 3 full-time here, at least since 19. And then
At that
these,
time, we were mowing the cemetery.
we were mowing, yeah, and that's some of why we didn't get some of those culverts done, because they spent a lot of time on mowers and on trimmers. But, with having that mowing contracted out, they can actually focus more on the road projects, which is where we're kind of getting behind on some of the culverts and things. And then if our pattern of funerals continue, we've already surpassed last year, so it's
Why isn't it growing?
I don't know why, but we've definitely been busy this year for those.
We got 2 on
They
Friday.
group up in groups and start dying.
I
You know, in a couple weeks and you got 3 more.
Today I'm
You got
going
3
under you.
more.
Yes, it's been,
I don't think there's there's not an hour during the day that there's not somebody in or out of Edwardsville Cemetery. There isn't a time. Believe that. I don't know, for visiting or picking things out or looking up information. That's a happening place.
People are dying to get in there.
I'll make a motion that we hire the 2 part-time at 18.
And with this, too, that this will be with the right of provisional, offer. And they would both then have to, I got this set up today with Jason Witty's help to, do a DOT, drug test at Tri-Health as well as a background check as well. So it would be contingent upon them,
Right.
us getting the background check back as well as passing the DOT drug test.
And that there could be an end to this.
Right, yeah, so I will,
Part-time.
yeah, I'm gonna sure that's clear, and then also make contact with Captain Horvath again, if we need to put something in their job description. When we sit down with them, with that final signature on, this is kind of not, guaranteed to be permanent, and we need to put a definitive end date to it. So I'll make sure we have that.
To be fair to them, just let them know that this could very well terminate.
Right.
And we could run out of money.
Hopefully not.
I second. He's already made a motion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that was $18 per hour each, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll read these down to you, Jenny.
Need to read their names into the minutes.
If you want to wait until after all of the tests are passed, you want to just keep them until
We can
that
wait.
time?
Sure.
And then that way, if you need something,
That works.
When would their start date be if contingent upon their passing their?
I'll leave that up to Jenny when she wants to cycle. I'll have to try to start them on an even cycle, right? For the payroll.
it doesn't matter as far as the start date. It's the raises that have to start on them
I see. Okay.
beginning.
All right, yeah, so I will get with them tomorrow, and then see when they can meet up with me, get their, come to the office, and they're gonna get their paperwork to Tri-Health, as well as your background check paperwork. So, yeah, I would, at least a couple weeks, I would think, yet before they get, maybe less, depends on how fast they get over there and get their, because I can't remember how the background checks don't take too long to get. We pretty much should have the Tri-Health information emailed the day or the day after. And those come, we have an account with Tri-Health, and all those reports that we're doing, those physicals for the fire department, all those reports go to Jason Witty as well. He gets all those. They are redacted. Certain things are redacted. It's either kind of pass fail type thing. So,
Do we want to put a start date?
May 1st?
Hmm?
May 1st?
May 1st? You want to wait that long?
we can,
It's 2 weeks to get things going.
yeah, we can be able to do it sooner. I mean, I think we, need to allow, 2 weeks at least, just make sure they have time to go get,
Mhm.
15?
Contingent upon when they pass their test and they're ready to start.
Okay.
And you can coordinate with them
I
on
coordinate
their
with
start date, let Jenny
I
know.
will, yeah. Yeah.
You got it.
So, okay, any more comments or concerns about those? Sounds like a no. Okay. I'll take that as a no. We have had, they're still working on the culverts up on Fisher Road. Also have another one that came today. So we have multiple driveway culverts that they're working through here. They're also gonna be installing a new compressed air distribution system at the 132 maintenance building that was initially ran off the air compressor with PVC, which says do PVC because it's not rated and it did eventually blow. So we got a aluminum, it looks like PEX, but it's not PEX, it's aluminum lined, it's rated for compressed air. So that's, they've got that there, and we'll be working on that as they have time. That might be something that,
We're gonna wait on the new guys.
that's what I said, might be something that we get one of those guys to work on. With the website, any comments? Because we've been up for about 2 weeks now. Comments, concerns, or?
No, I still need to get with you. I know we've got stuff we need to update on there. You and
Right.
I have both been covered up, so.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
So I did get the analytics. They come at the first of the month. So obviously it started out pretty high. We had, 60 people for the first week or so, and then it's, the graph is kind of slimmed down. I think for the previous week, we've only had 2 visitors to the homepage, and that's it. So which kind of thought it was gonna be that way. So I think as we add things and try to push people to that via Facebook and things. I think that'll hopefully pick up a little bit.
If we have flyers for events, is that something you could post on there?
Yes, it is. And there's some on there now.
Okay.
It's just something.
Just email them to you.
Email the flyers to me, and then they have a form that I fill out. That then I so it's initially they just have started using this form. So I'll send those attachments and stuff to them, and then they post all those. Yes, whatever we have, we can send up there to them, and they're pretty responsive. They get to it pretty quick. So.
Do they remove them?
That's a good, I don't know if they time them out or so.
Because I seen like the Easter stuff still on there.
Yeah, so there's a slide bar that has, I don't know if they eventually drop off. I don't know the answer to that. But they put the most current stuff is the first. So you have like the first landing page and it'll scroll through to the older stuff. I'll ask that question. I don't know if they go, I'm thinking they go through and kind of sweep it because they'll, if they see things, they'll email me and say, hey, get us some different pictures of X, Y, Z. So they're wanting to get updated spring pictures if we can. Of course, it's been storming for the past however many days. So
That's spring.
it's spring. Yeah, spring down here it is. Yeah.
I got some good creek ones.
So,
In the fields.
9 Lincoln, the question was asked about the insurance for 9 Lincoln. I talked to Chief Bennett. He said our rep had indicated that yes, if they were acting with the fire department would be covered. I emailed Cecilia is who I've been dealing with on some of the things before I talked to Chief Bennett. I said, hey, is our auxiliary covered under our policy? She emailed me back and says, we need to add them as a named insured entity on our policy. So right now they're not named specifically. And I not had a chance to ask the question is at the end they were going to have their own insurance as well. But I don't know where that stands. I haven't had a chance to ask that question yet today. Do they have an insurance policy? But if they are going to be covered under the township, we need to add them as a named insured entity under the township. That's where that stands. Clear as mud.
No.
Like I mentioned before, we had the burial at Wesley Chapel on the 28th. Jeff and I took care of that one with some difficult parking. We may in the future need to address some additional parking over there because it was a little challenging to park 25 to 30 cars out on the street. We ended up closing, but we didn't close down Woodville. We parked all the cars on the street, had them come around the block and head toward 28.
Mm-hmm.
So we could then pull back the hearse in. And then we had them park on the wrong side of the road. So they were on the cemetery side facing 28. Facing in the left lane, and then Jeff and I directed traffic, steering everything to keep things flowing. It worked pretty well. There wasn't a single car went by when we were standing waiting for them, and as soon as the hearse pulled up, it was like everybody needed to get down Woodville Road.
Former Chief Mitten and I met with Neil Tunison on that, in 2018? And we got the county's approval to work over there at Wesley Chapel and put the drain tile in and the catch basins so that we could create some extra parking, but we never did go any further with that, did we?
Yes, that's right.
So I can.
So that's all been approved by the county.
Okay. Yes, so I can get some pricing on that. Have Larry work on some plan for what it would take to do that. And we probably couldn't have fit everybody off the road.
Right.
We'd have 25 or 30 if there's, we did try to keep people off of 28 and you have a little parking there. You could put 6 or 8 vehicles there,
Right.
maybe.
The way we had done it, you could park 2 by 2 along between
Yeah.
the road and the fence on the Woodville side.
Yep.
And then if you had to, you could park some off the edge of the road down through there and have some
Right.
flagging.
Yeah, we just decided to keep them on Woodville Road because everybody on 28 runs 75 miles an hour, but not the other. So just for safety, so nobody would like trip and roll out in the street. And then, so we thought keep them on Woodville. At least everybody's slowing down, hopefully slowing down to turn right in there. So we can look into getting some cost on adding some parking over there. Just try to get as many cars off the street as we can.
Probably still have all that somewhere in the cost, but over the past 6, 7 years, might as well triple it.
Yeah, yep. And then there are 2 burials this Friday, the 5th at Edwardsville. They're back to back. So we're going to take care of getting those dug tomorrow and have those ready to go for Friday morning. The first one's at 10 o'clock and in the noon on Friday. So, and that's all I have. That was enough, right?
Yeah, we just went there. Oh, there.
It dynamite does that.
You guys have any questions for Steve?
Nah.
Well, let's go to, old business. Ed?
Was waiting on an estimate for some fence repairs at Wesley Chapel, Edwardsville, and
Awesome.
Austin. Got it. And I did get that. Was the total 1362 was our total. And if we want to know what that entails, I can read that as well. It was what was on our report as far as fence repairs.
Oh, from Richard?
Correct. Think of some post caps, couple posts, and a couple boards.
Correct. That's labor and.
It was one post at Edwardsville, one post at Wesley Chapel, 2 posts at Crossan, 4 caps at Edwardsville, 2 caps at Wesley Chapel, 1 cap at Crossan, 3 rails at Edwardsville, and 6 rails at Crossan. That was the total for that estimate that I received.
You go.
It's 1462, correct?
Correct.
Who's that with?
That is Chris Ballard. I think his name of his company is Ballard Fence Company. I don't have it printed out yet. Jenny's gonna print it out if we have to have it for record.
Well, we need to get it done with 1362.
Correct.
So you don't even need a motion, it's under 2,000. So we just have him do it. Can you get to it pretty quick? Have things cleaned up for Mother's Day and Memorial Day?
I would sure like that. Took a month to get the numbers.
You go with that, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
You just make a note to everybody contact him to have them send somebody his workers' comp information too, so we can put that on file, just so we have it.
You or Jenny as well?
As long as you get it eventually, as long as I get, you can send it to you and you can send it to me, or.
Got it. That's all the new business that I have.
You mean open?
Old business, sorry.
All right. Oh, Steve, the odometer, I got this list of the mileages. The deal with the odometer on engine 81 going to 130,000.
Jeff and I had this conversation. It is my belief that it jumped 100,000. At some point, the odometer just jumped an even 100, but I can't promise you that it did that.
Do you have the 2016 numbers that Andy gave?
I was gonna say that
Engine 81.
Marcus gave me the 2016, it's like 10,000 miles or something.
11,846.
11,849. And now we're at 130,746.
So it's
I
probably.
guarantee you, we ain't took it to California.
Yeah, but it's pretty easy. It's at 16.
A lot of trips with it.
I guess we could have put, well, it's possible we could have put, it had 15,000, now it's at 30 roughly.
Got 11.
11,849.
I don't know, put them in miles on it since 2016. I don't think we would have done
So
that.
it's got at least over 100,000 extra miles on it.
At least.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
It jumped, when it jumped, I think it jumped, like Steve said, 100,000 miles.
How did it jump?
Don't know.
Because, yeah,
Because, I mean, obviously it's gonna hurt the resale value when we.
Right.
I have no idea. We just all of a sudden, one time,
Yeah,
we all sort of said it.
yeah, you jumped in there and you're like, 100, I mean, whatever it was.
Did we have it worked on somewhere?
I'm not familiar.
I don't remember.
Did that one have any transmission issues?
No,
Any transmission? No.
no.
Nothing also? So I don't know why it would be.
I don't know what happened. I guess someone took a coat hanger in there and
How do we, can we have somebody look at it? I mean,
Well, I can have plenty of people look at it.
I mean,
Hey, look at it,
Can we have a-
get in
can we
there.
have a qualified technician?
Yeah, yes, we can.
Speedometer and blue eye.
I don't,
Or make some phone calls.
I
to
don't know
somebody.
how, when you fix it, how you can justify what you're gonna put it to if you can fix it.
Well, we have the previous mileage. Sure. Well, when was the last time that thing was worked on? Don't they keep records of the mileage anytime it goes in the
Yeah, but
shop?
it's 100,000 miles.
It's gonna show the
It's been,
mileage.
it's been 100,000 miles for, I know, at least 4 years,
It's been a while, yeah.
4 or 5 years.
Was it ever in the shop before that?
I mean, before I took care of this stuff. As before I was hired.
So, okay. We can look in, we probably have to. You probably don't have the records, do you?
I have some old ones. I got them in a different file. I sort of stored them away. When I started taking it over, I sort of done my own thing and pushed them off to the side.
Yeah, the hours are right, though. I think
Hours
the
should be
hours are
right.
right. You can kind of base, if somebody were to purchase, you say, look, we had an issue with the, with the miles, but here are the hours on the engine, you're gonna know that if the hours end up equaling like an average of 70 miles an hour every time it went out, that's not gonna be.
You could figure that out to a certain degree because, pump hours, it's all the same hours. So
Right.
when you're pumping.
The speedometer plates, put it wherever you want it. They don't care. They're your
It's-
customer to them.
It's digital.
Ethically,
It's digital, and I don't know if it's tied up to the ECM. If we want something in the ECM that, that'd be the question. So is there some place in the ECM for the engine that tracks it separately from what you see on the dash? It is a digital readout, and that's coming from somewhere. So it just depends on if there's somewhere else to look for.
it's gonna
Hours
pop
and
out on
mileage.
the
I'll talk to
sooner or later.
the mechanics that works on it, their engine specialty, and see what he can tell me, or I don't know if he can do it or not, but maybe he can direct me in the right way to go to it.
It'd be interesting too. I mean, if we did have it somewhere where somebody had the mileage and then a year later it showed the new mile, so you could kind of prove that, even if they can't fix it, something that we could have as proof in the futures,
Only thing I can figure out in 2016 is that 2005, you figure out how many miles you ran and try to equal that out now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It shouldn't be too, I think it would be close mileage, but not exact.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that's the other thing needs to be, we need to have some kind of documentation anyway.
But yeah, we didn't run it no 100-some thousand miles.
Well, you have? Yes, sir. Let's see, old business. Flyers for the tractor show. Did you get any more flyers made?
No, you need more?
Yeah, could you leave some here in this room for the farm club for their meeting this Sunday?
Can. And have a number?
No, whatever you think, 15, 20.
Okay.
I can make my own copies.
Steve, do you have a copy of that? I don't think she ever did, the prosecutor's office ever go back over the release, the gym rental and the release vendor form?
That I do not know.
I have not received, but she was on vacation all week, was she?
She was last week, yes.
Okay, she has not sent me anything back on that. There's nothing new on that. We still need to get that approved, but she had some typos and whatnot she needed to take care of first. I think everything else I have is new. Steve, do you have any old?
I do not.
Jenny, do you have old?
No.
New business, Ed? No. The bathrooms at Whitaker Park, I know we had Larry and Kathy doing that last year. We're gonna continue to have them doing that this year on Fridays and Mondays. Cause I'm not going up there and working out concrete, 100-degree weather this year. Like last year. You weren't here for that, were you?
No.
Yeah, that was a mess.
I'm a newbie.
Yeah, that was a mess. We go with them, what did we pay that?
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't know.
It'd be the same, what, Kenny, do you remember?
I don't know.
Where's the concrete? Walking on concrete. That's what, oh, I remember you talking about that at a meeting last summer.
Yeah. Yeah, Sugar Run Church was having an event up there and called me and couldn't use the bathrooms. So we hired Larry and Kathy to finish out the year, but I don't think we really said to continue, but I would like them to continue.
I'd have to look back, because I don't remember,
Okay.
and I thought maybe I would get lucky and find it
You
real
guys are
quick.
good with that, we'll just have them continue at the same price.
I'll write that down and then I'll look it up and put it correctly in the minutes.
Okay.
How much.
And then, do we have anybody cleaning the firehouse bathrooms and whatnot?
Recently, we've had new community service groups coming over. Or one of us does, cleans it.
All right, well, I'll let you guys discuss that. I was just noticing a few things up there today. I know we just had our big dinner and whatnot, so it probably hasn't had time to get it cleaned, so.
Right.
It'll take a while.
Yeah. We're gonna leave that one off for tonight. Event coordinator.
Volunteer basis.
A volunteer event coordinator to kind of coordinate all this stuff here at the school and with 9 Lincoln and handle the gymnasium rentals and the door codes and it's kind of, I mean, Steve has been my backup, but both of us have been backlogged. So I had mentioned it to Bridget a while back. Are you still, you kind of acted like you were interested?
I would be interested. I mean, I'm here all the time.
It doesn't pay much,
Well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
but that would be, well, I talked to her about it a while back because, she's here. She has the door codes and she can kind of handle everything. So
You on board with it, Bridget?
I'm on board.
So you're willing to be the Harlan Township event now this would include.
Fund coordinator.
This would include you putting your Google Calendar on the website so that you can, that way I can take mine off and like I said, I've got, I think 5 calendars on my phone. Just try to keep separate, but with your Google Calendar, you don't, with the website, it stays separate.
Well, I don't have a Google Calendar for my personal anyway, so.
Okay.
I can make one for events.
Thanks, Bridget.
So do we need to make a motion on this?
We can swear her in.
We swear. I mean, we didn't do that with Bruce or Richard or, you're willing to be the Harlan, okay. Well, I'll, Steve and I will kind of work with you to get you started and.
It's like the first step for a wedding planner.
Is that just,
Hey, listen, I'm all about
is that just for
planning
here?
events.
All the events for the township, you'd be handling, working, coordinating with everybody on everything, like with 9 Lincoln, when they do their stuff. And I mean, anything, obviously approval for things still has to come through the board. But he can do like all the door codes or.
Yeah, it's basically for this building though.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, not at the park, not at the firehouse or.
Well, it'd be at the park too.
I mean, I would show up.
Yeah. But, I don't think we have anything at the, which wouldn't be like the ham and turkey dinners or nothing.
Well,
No.
Events, I mean.
Those are firehouse, we call that fire department events.
But there might, okay.
Yeah.
I just sort of trying to find out what it was.
Include farmer's market,
Farmers market,
is that food? That's one of the events?
is that a township event?
Is that it?
Oh, is that
Something
what
I
we
said
said?
yes.
I don't think that would really be an event.
Just checking.
No, but you can let me know the dates and times and everything. That way I can add it to the calendar and that would go on the website type thing. I wouldn't
I just go.
oversee it or
We
anything.
haven't heard anything about doing the, farmer's market.
Yeah, she starts in June. She's already been posting about it,
Who?
Sarah,
Sarah,
for the farmer's market.
for Harlan Township?
It's Firehouse. Yes, sir, yes, sir. She's been working with Dusty on it. So. Hi. She's starting in June, because she just posted about that.
Is she charging for it?
Probably. She did last year. For the vendors.
We might have to have a discussion on that.
Is that right?
Because she has to have insurance for it.
Well, everybody has to have insurance to be a part of the farmer's market, not
Right.
just her. Anybody that goes to a farmer's market and sells is supposed to have insurance.
Has to have insurance.
Yeah.
I go to two, so.
Right. Correct, but she also has another policy
For,
to cover, I don't know, they told her that she had to have one to cover anything that happened. Not just for the individual vendors, I guess to cover any of the vendors that didn't have one. I have no idea. But, she went through a company in Loveland and got insurance for it.
right.
So,
Anybody who's part of the farmer's market has to have insurance.
right,
And it's on township property, so the township has their own insurance.
Should be the pay, like with Lebanon, you have to list them as the sponsor, so. And Deerfield, same way, IGA, same way, you have to put them, you have your own insurance, but then you have to have it listed who you sell with. And that they're, somehow they can collect, I don't know, cause I'm just a vendor, but,
Do they collect fees from you guys?
yeah.
June 6th through September 26th. She's already started to post it. So,
And what days are those on?
Thursdays. Thursdays from 3 to 7.
So if you go to Deerfield, Mrs. Shelton, are you paying Deerfield Township or?
We, well, I'm not so sure about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or just one?
I have to list Deerfield as the backup or where I, somehow then they can collect if I have a problem, I don't know either.
So are you paying Deerfield?
Well, I pay the farmer's market, but I also pay for my own insurance.
Okay,
But yeah, you pay a fee to the farmer's market.
okay.
And then, from there, I only know what vendors have to do. But you do have to list who sponsors you, who allows you to sell on their property.
Okay. Any other discussion?
One other thing I'd like to add, I didn't have any new business, but we have a regional planning commission meeting coming up. Kevin, and it's next week. Would you like a replacement? Or would
Are you volunteering to go to that?
Sure.
He likes that stuff.
That's right up my alley. I like zoning.
Wasn't you going to Boulderville then?
Uh,
You need to go to the Boulderville meeting.
I thought your name was already listed.
It's on there, but it couldn't have been because it says from last year.
Oh,
Last year I was nobody.
We did with the work session. I think you're the
I got the other 70 emails today. I can't read all
If they've updated it.
one time. I did read that one. That was early. But I don't have anything else other to add.
I have new business after I finished looking this up.
All right, I think
Ed, you're the alternate for the planning commission. It's Kevin and then you're the alternate. Just FYI.
Thanks.
I handed all of you a form or a packet about the insurance, their insurance will have to be renewed. This is just something he sent me today, this afternoon, late this afternoon. So I just need you guys to review this. Ed's name is not listed on the one sheet, but you're included in there. But they, for some reason, left you off, but you would be the same as me as far as how much it would cost. But I need you guys to look through the packet that I gave you and do the comparison, and then we'll need to make a decision at the next meeting because the renewal is May 1st.
you get one.
It's just for the trustees.
Any other business? Community comments?
I'm good.
Yeah, we had a,
You're not from the community. You work here.
Easter egg hunt. It was a township organization, right?
Township event.
Event. It'd been nice to see some of you guys up there.
Some of us had to work. Just like Friday night, I didn't make the dinner.
I just feel it looks bad that we didn't have no representation, any repetition to you guys being there. That's my thought. So maybe I'm wrong, but I just wanted to say.
I've given up a lot of time, but I can't give up all my time. I've got to go to work sometimes.
Oh, I'm not saying that. If you gotta work, you gotta work. I mean, I know what that's like. I've given up a lot of times too.
When I'm available, I've been at those events. I've got, Peggy's probably got pictures of me sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap. I forget who took it, but it was pretty embarrassing, and I did it.
That is embarrassing. You need to get copies of that.
And he's going to the website.
Hang them out in here
On
next
the
time.
website.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you have something, Karen?
I did. I just talked to Sarah. I have her name and number. I'll get with you after, so you can talk with her. She said they're having their next meeting, Sunday for the vendors that are going. She has vendors already signed up to go.
Okay.
She hasn't talked to anybody about doing it for this year, but she had coordinated with Dusty on it last year, and I guess she just assumed that it would go for this year too.
That's kind of what I was wondering. I hadn't heard Dusty say anything about it.
Yeah, I hadn't either, because I know I had talked about it at the beginning of the year last year to help get somebody involved in it. And then
Okay.
I just
So
found
she's
back
gonna
out.
contact somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her, I'm sorry, I'll give her or if you want, whoever, her name and number, so you guys can talk with her.
She can coordinate with our administrator.
Okay.
One more thing.
It's still in the file.
And then I do have a question for the fish fry on the dinners.
Mhm.
The $7,000, is that gonna go back into, does that go into the
That goes to the fire department, the private fire department fund, not the township fund and the actual, so the fire department's a 501c3, separate, has a separate fund.
That's the Friends of,
No, the fire department has its own checking account and its own bank account, so that the fundraiser money goes into that account.
Okay. And does that go to any like building expenses, or does that just go to a firefighter?
It has in the
It-
past. They
it
help
had.
buy property.
Yeah, it has been, it's kind of one that accumulates, we don't pull out it because we don't put a lot in it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things it does is the food for Christmas party that we have for the firefighters, that comes out of there. So we use it for stuff that we can't the thing that's pulled from the most is probably sending like flowers, or we will make a, if there's a line of duty death somewhere or somebody that we know, we can make a donation of X amount of dollars.
Thanksgiving
To-
and Christmas.
Yeah, we just like the auxiliary, will adopt two families for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So that money comes in. That pool of money is so we don't have to go, because we can't spend taxpayer money to do that stuff. So that accumulates for all stuff we can't do with taxpayer money. So
Okay, so it's more of a charitable
it is, yeah. But we have bought stuff out of it before.
borderline
But it's, yeah, but there aren't really large sums that go in or come out. So we pretty much the only fundraising is either, if we get donations, I think we had, Dusty said we had $650 to $700 that were just donated at the dinner that were above and beyond what the dinners were. So those things go there in that account.
Okay.
I believe you guys also use it like when you do trainings.
True.
For the trainings,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that can't be.
Correct, yeah, so we have, if the auxiliary comes in and makes food, we'll buy food for that. For several years, we were buying food for every training, so that money comes out of that pool as well.
Oh, gotcha, okay, that makes sense. Okay. That's all I have.
Any other community comments for the hard of hearing?
You're doing fine. I think.
Nice to see you tonight, Mr. Miller. All right, Steve, did you have anything else?
The last thing I have is short. The levy committee met last night. You had the minutes from last time that you were going to meet with Frank Williams. We met with Frank. I don't know when that was. I lost track of days. Anyway, Chief Bennett and myself and Frank met, and then they brought that presentation to the levy committee meeting last night with the plan of levy committee making a presentation to the trustees at the next meeting of a millage amount and some more details with that. So for the next meeting, expect that on the 17th to have the levy committee here to make that presentation. So just heads up for that one. And that was it.
Well, let's see. This time, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session with ORC section 121.22 G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee. Have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Wojcinski,
Yes.
Mr. Kern,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
Go in this time slot.
Yes. It's too late now.
We need to remember that.
Freezing.
Steve,
It's very.
all I have to do is say, here's those instruments.
Thank you.
This time, I'll make a motion that we adjourn executive session back to regular session.
Don't.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brzezinski,
Yes.
Mr. Kern,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
And we will be taking action. At this time, we've been working on new job descriptions. And tonight, we are going to adopt the new job description for the fire and EMS chief. With a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and a salary of $44,000.
Wait a minute, you're going too fast. Monday, Wednesday,
Friday.
Okay.
And a salary of $44,000. See, I'll make a motion to adopt the new position description with the salary and the schedule.
Second.
And we'll need a roll call vote.
alrighty. Roll call, Mr. Brzezinski.
Yes.
Mr. Kern.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
When is that effective? Because you did not say that.
Let's make that effective. You guys want to make that effective what, the next pay date or the next pay half? Jenny, when do you know when that will be?
Well, on that, because is that going to be, that's a salary, so that's going to be just a monthly, so that would be basically effective the 15th, because I pay from, I'm sorry, the 16th, because it gets paid, shoot, hit the wrong button. Gets paid from the 1st to the 15th, and then the 16th to the end of the month.
Okay, so it'll be effective the 16th. Motion to pay the bills?
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Correspondence?
None.
Anything else to be brought before the board? Motion to adjourn?
Yes. Second. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Okay, so do that over. Who made the motion to adjourn? And then who seconded?
Kevin.
Thank you. Too much mumbling.
Here's some good.